Hello everybody, welcome back to Jazzgrass Gaming.
Oh shit, that was a noise from hell. I really gotta grease that up.
I heard that, I was like, oof.
What substance do I use? WD-40? Is that the right way to use it?
Protef will work longer.
Ah, alright.
Because it's just an oil. Because it isn't corroded, it's just metal on metal rubbing. So it needs a little wiener slide in between that.
Wiederschleim. That's probably not even a word, but whatever, dude.
It's German for lube.
Is it?
I like to think it is.
You're like James May, man. What the hell?
Yeah, it may not be a word, but I like to think that it is. Well, that's how, what's the, Shakespeare did it.
Yes, you will now suckle on my dingle, snooper. Spielberg, that is not a word. That's exactly a word in the German Republic. Don't you dog shit. Man, so Shakespeare was apparently so hipster he made his own language, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not that he made his own language, it's just that he added on a lot of words, a lot of sayings to the English vocab.
Right.
That's basically what he did. It was like, oh, there's probably a more elegant way to describe the situation than using a sentence. So I'm gonna find a nice little word for that to use. And it caught on, because apparently he was a very good writer, which I wouldn't know because, I don't know, I never really paid attention to it. How many Shakespeare plays have you seen, Brian? Have you seen Macbeth?
Excuse me?
I actually have. I'm not even sure if that's a Shakespeare play. I'm just saying things.
I'm generally not known for my play attending.
I've seen The Wizard of Oz.
I've seen a Family Guy parody of Wizard of Oz, just like with Star Wars.
Yep.
And yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's just something that I was thinking about. Like, how does that work? Like, how do you create a word? Like, how do you try to create a new English word? It's ridiculously hard.
There's already so many fucking words.
Exactly. So
Shakespeare took them all. Son of a bitch.
Xylopine. It was a new kind of fruit that they found on Mars.
Holy shit.
And it looks like a penis, that's why it's called Xylopine.
Xylopine.
Now why not Xenopine? You know, that's because that's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
So
And the word xeno is not really
well,
proper these days.
These days it's kinda...
Can't just use that word. It has bad...
Does it? I thought it was just overused.
That as well.
It's a bit cliche at this point, right? You gotta come up with your own things, like Blorgelsteiner, yeah, that's right. Steinscher Blorgel.
Or Gurglesnurger.
Yeah, exactly, a gurgle's a snurder.
A Snurf nerder?
It's a nerder that gurgles.
I mean, it's kind of a derogative of nerve herder, which is some kind of fucking... Nerve herder is like a very specific
God damn it, you
insult
fucking Nerfheimer.
in fucking Star Wars.
You fucking...
Nerf
you
slurver?
fucking geek gobbler.
Geek gobbler. Oh, no!
It's a Twitch
Why did I
stop
do
that fucks the nerds for to gain the cloud of the community.
I like that one.
You fucking geek gobbler.
Gobble gobble.
Man, it's gotta be said that there's a lot of ways to describe specific kinds of women. But how many ways are there to describe a specific kind of man? I mean, you have to play her.
I guess we're just too general.
Yeah, like, I guess.
We like to stick to
we're
our...
just not unique. We're
yeah.
just very
We like to stick to our niche.
We're just very... we're too basic. We call women
Basic, but
then
meanwhile here we're just
look
like...
at us. We don't wear makeup. We don't.
We all
try
look
to
the same.
pretty. We all look the fucking same. If you ever walked outside, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't get why women are into men.
Neither do I, dude. If I was a woman, I'd be a lesbian.
Sometimes I just look at my penis and go, you know what? That's not very attractive. In. But then again, I look at the female vagina and I'm also like.
Like I still feel like the penis is the more elegant of the two.
Yeah, I suppose so, because
Let's be honest, a pussy just looks like a mess.
Depends. I mean, there's
Yeah,
some
true.
neat-looking
There's some
pushes
neat
out
little
there.
pushes. I give you that.
Neat pony, but
But if we're talking, you know, not everybody has a tight little plum. Some people have a roasty, and you can't help with that.
yes, are you going to shame those people?
No.
No, it's just that the.
Just saying that the penis is the more elegant of the two.
True.
It's like a rapier.
It's a rape.
Oh.
Against the fucking meat salad.
Yeah, and I feel like the word rapier also is not the
I don't
right
think that's the
word
best
to
word.
use.
Could you not have said like scimitar, Zweihander, like Zweihander?
Yeah, but that's a
good
little.
one.
If you think about an elegant weapon, though, you're thinking about the Ricard's rapier.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but the scimitar is more
Big and
associated
rudimentary and
with
choppy.
banditry and stuff like that, I suppose. Perhaps yeah, what is a elegant sword? An elegant phallic object?
A sax. Like a Saxon, I mean.
A sax, a trumpet.
No, I mean like I thought we were still talking in weapons terms.
Oh right, actually you're right.
So, like, the sax is
the
the-
phallic objects in general.
Oh, and that as well. Eggplant.
My gentleman's trumpet. Excuse me, this is my private trumpet. I would not get if you got your hands off of that.
Get your hands off my lady tickler.
Get your hands off my meaty swords. Oh no, I did have the worst.
Go on.
I call it the rapier of misogyny.
I like that one.
Misogynist? I've never even been to medical school.
I'm not a physical therapist.
Oh man. It's so stupid.
Oh. Get out!
I guess a scepter. But that's more like a
My rectal
fantasy.
scepter.
You know, like I don't know.
I guess you could
were
call your
scepters
dirt
ever-
that.
Have scepters ever been a thing in our world? Because we don't. And I say our
Yeah.
world as though we live in a multiverse. Where
Yeah,
somewhere
I was gonna say, which world do you actually like mean? Do you mean the Western world?
Because I'm talking our boring timeline without magic and shit, right? I like to think that there's gonna be some parallel universe that I get isekai to one day. No,
Truck
just
hits you.
Just kidding. It's just scepters, man. They're a staple of fantasy world.
They're a staple of ancient world, I feel like, because
So
you know.
what were their purpose? What's the purpose of a scepter?
Well, it just gave people like the divine right to rule. Like if you had the big stick, you had the big dick, and you get to say what's going on. Like the old Incas had big sticks, the old fucking Egyptians had big sticks. The Tsar had like his fucking Tsar stick. Even in like
does our king have a stick?
yeah, even we have like a scepter, I think. Same for the British, but they really like their crown jewels.
Yeah.
Ask Prince Albert.
Goddamn. Controversial episode.
We've only talked about genitalia
Don't
as
show
of now.
Don't show this video to the Clintons.
Come on. I mean, that's what the Clintons will do when they see this. We haven't even talked about the Epstein guy.
Because I don't want to die.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
too scared of what might happen.
Huh?
But I will say this though. I have some mild suspicions that some Tom Cruise may be a threat.
Wouldn't be surprised.
You're lost again. Stop it.
I haven't noticed, Brian. I thought I was still in a fight.
I was just saying, man. I miss the times when we could move on from a game and pick a new one to play.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
Shit, we could have even picked up Dark Souls 3 again.
Oh, oh, whoop! Look at that.
By the time you beat this boss, we'll have uploaded the Dark Souls 3 playthrough in its entirety.
It's about time. Oh. Oh. Bam.
Alright. Oh.
That went through the floor. That was beneath me. Come on, call bullshit, Brian.
You know what? Hitboxes in video games are bullshit. One of these days, there's gonna be a game that's like, you know what? Fuck this collision box bullshit. We're gonna fix this, and they'll fix it.
And
right?
you'll need a fucking NASA computer to run it.
Here's the one thing, right? Imagine if we did indeed have like these massive. You know how cool it would be to have like games where the animations are actual in-game physical movements, meaning that if he did hit the floor just then, like he did,
like a very physics-based.
Yeah. Like his attack would be rendered worthless because he's hitting the ground, or his sword would bounce out, like stuff like that. You know, where they actually take in effect, like they take into account the environment like that. That is currently.
There are like a couple of games that are doing that, like Death Stranding, for all the boringness and stuff. Like the way you move around, it's very physics-based, and I think that how they did that and how they all like process that's very interesting. Because it really like you see that the characters naturally steps on little rocks and shit, and like.
Exactly. I mean, people are always focused on the graphics and the look at the game. The look at the game is, that's just
important, but you can get out of it.
To me, the most important thing is just how
realistic it is.
Well,
in the movement.
And also just how far can we push the fucking how far can we push the details? Like how far can we push like these technologies, like the animations, because we're used to seeing objects clip through each other in games. Like we're used to seeing animations doing things that would be kind of weird in real life.
Yes, we've all accepted it as like, oh yeah, video game,
like for example,
suspensive disbelief.
Animations where they snap, right, where they snap into an attack to make it. They make the attack as quick as it needs to be difficult, right? That sort of thing. Like how could we make sure that doesn't happen? What technologies? The game industry is super interesting to me because they're trying to push in, like they're trying to pack as much performance in a limited system as possible. And right now we're kind of at a wall that we're trying to get over by means of processing power, right? We can't really get much make leaps and bounds anymore like we used to. So that's going to be the growing thing in the industry, is just how much performance can you pack into, how much game can we pack into what we can, market towards the average player, so that people won't need an extremely expensive computer to run it, but also the demand is gonna keep rising for more realistic or more technologically advanced games, right? And I wonder what's gonna happen once we reach the point where that is no longer a reasonable thing to continue to expect. And I feel like we're at the point where it's starting to happen, that the industry is going to start focusing less on like the latest technology and more on the actual gameplay, the actual game itself. And I feel like that's going to be a great time for video gaming. I feel like we're like at a really
I think
great
especially
point
with the rise of VR and how that's getting a lot better. Like, especially the market is starting to grow a little bit. Like new headsets are coming out that are like a lot better, track you a lot better. Like people are starting to make engines like that are really physics based, so you can really get immersed within the game itself. And I feel like VR is gonna be one of those front lines where gameplay is really gonna be pushed, because that's like, if you're gonna make a game in VR, the gameplay has to be on point.
Yeah, it's a lot less about graphics in
Yeah.
VR a whole
Because
lot
that's the
more
thing,
about
like
the actual gameplay.
with graphics, it doesn't matter because as long as you make a good stylized, aesthetic for your game, it doesn't have to look like a fucking amazing
I feel like
ray
you make-
traced rendered.
You make a really good point because what you actually say is like when you game like we're doing right now, there is this one layer of disconnect that's in between this and VR. In VR, this layer doesn't exist. If you're in VR, you're a lot more into the game. You're a lot more immersed in it. So if the mechanics of the game aren't very well crafted or aren't very good, then in VR you're a lot more likely to just say like this sucks.
Yeah. Especially if the
And
gameplay is broken.
especially
Yeah.
right now when the industry is still a fresh thing where games are still clunky and awkward. Where moving around isn't still the easiest, most intuitive thing. A lot of VR games still use like click
Yeah,
to
teleport. Yep.
type of.
But it's also like
movements.
some people just can't take fluid movement, so they have to use the teleport system.
True, because
It fucks up your brain.
Yeah. Apparently, a good 2/3 of people have issues with like motion sickness and stuff.
Yeah.
When I played VR with my brother-in-law's plays with the PlayStation VR, I had no issues personally, but that's because most of that is just on real VR experience.
Yeah.
So you don't actually get to do much. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. Game industry, there's some interesting things coming out. The indie market is booming.
Oh. Well, especially with the VR, like there are not a lot of big companies making risks yet in VR, but smaller companies are because they can take the risk.
Yeah.
Like especially like one game I have a lot of respect for. It's H3, like horseshoes, hand grenades, and hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Because it's made by one single guy, and of course like people who make the models, but he has to animate them, make sure the physics work. Because basically the game is a physics-based shooter.
Yeah.
And he has a bunch of guns in that like all the mechanics basically physically work.
So you physically read.
Yeah. And like there's actual models of the fucking bolt and the fucking barrel
Exactly. You actually switch out barrels and
Yep.
you set it to full auto or
Yeah.
shot, that stuff like that.
recoil. There's
Yeah,
like
it's
actual
really cool.
impact. Like the different guns make different sounds because of the barrel lengths and everything. Like it goes deep. But that's just one guy who's making that. And I feel like big companies are just waiting for patents. It was like, alright, please, how did you make that work? We'll give you a bunch of money so we can implement it in our games.
Well,
I think that's
definitely going to have like because indeed like the groundwork is being laid mostly by indie companies, and surprisingly there's also with like the whole Rick and Morty games and stuff, it's pretty interesting to see that there's actually also an interest from a lot of big corporations, but also like different entertainment mediums. I feel like it could be very interesting to mix the television business and VR business, but not necessarily in the sense like the cinema idea or whatever, but like in the sense of like almost mixing video gaming and movie much more fluidly. Because right now, if you have a video game that is mixed with a movie, right, it usually kind of sucks.
yeah.
Because you can't, it usually kind of like let's say you have a really good VR, right, and you have environment and game and mechanics for moving around and stuff, you could, but I feel like you could in that sense make a lot make an entirely different kind of movie game mix. And I'm really curious to see, because that it's inevitably gonna happen. There's always going to be someone with that, with ideas like that, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
Oh fuck, that was a swing. Could have read that.
He's chasing you down. Oh my god, dude. Oh shit.
Ah!
Okay,
Where'd you come from?
And then there's of course the porno games. Those are gonna be
Oh, yeah, dude.
totally radical, dude.
Like, if you've seen those videos of just guys wearing those VR headsets on conventions while they're playing porno games, it's so awkward.
Yeah, because they're like, where do I put my hat? I mean, it is weird because, you know, the whole you only really know if your product is good if it actually helps arouse people, and if it does, well, you're
Pull your pants down.
Yeah, well, you're like at a convention. It's kind of weird for people to be getting aroused at a convention, but that's you know, just a personal opinion, I guess. Like whatever people do, their decision to make. Yeah, it's not something that I would do. Just fast forward to like 10 years later when we have a big community, we're at some stupid convention.
Everybody's just checking off.
These new full dive VRs, and I just go all in. And then someone's gonna post a shitty meme video about it. Finally, everybody, we can finally end this episode.
See you guys later.
That fight took fucking ages.
It was a good fight though.
But yeah, good talk, and yeah,
Funny
VR,
episode.
man's the future.
Check off in VR more.
See
Bye.
ya.